Hi guys, believe it or not, I'm tidying up again because we're just off on holiday, so I want to clear the table. But before I do that, as is always the case, I've got a request. Somebody wants a balloon powered car. So I've had a little hunt. I've got some plastic bottle tops. These are the milk bottle tops that have got a little dimple in the middle, so we know where the centre is. I've got 8 of them. I've got some CDs that we're going to use for the wheels. I've got some sticky tape somewhere, so I'll just tape them in place. I'm not going to use the hot glue gun, I'll just tape them in place. That's a plastic fruit tray. Some grapes, that sort of thing come in them. Got a bit of double-sided sticky tape. Got a balloon. I've got a felt tip pen here that's empty. So if you're going to use one of these, just bear in mind that if you haven't already washed it out and you start trying to blow up your balloon through it, you're going to get coloured lips. So make sure you give it a good clean, because that's going to go over the end of the balloon. I'm not sure whether I'm going to use the cap or the actual body of it, because that'll give us a smaller hole. If the hole's too big, the air comes out too quickly and you don't get much distance from it. If it's too small, it'll take longer to come out, but you won't get quite as much thrust. But there's somewhere between the two will be the optimal value, so you may have to experiment. I've also run out of cardboard at the moment, but I've got this corrugated plastic. This is off of an old sign that was thrown away, so I've cut it. It's actually 12 inches by 6 inches, but the dimensions aren't particularly important. I'll also need a couple of drinking straws. They'll do. That'll be for the axle tubes. Oh, and of course I need a couple of barbecue skewers for the axles. Barbecue skewers, bamboo skewers. Got a bag of them somewhere. Oh, there we are. 100 bamboo skewers, 30 centimetres long. Yeah, they'll do. So, we'll make a balloon powered car. This bit, I'm going to cut a hole in it. I might melt a hole in it actually, because if we melt it there won't be any sharp edges. So the balloon will push through it, or that will push through it. We'll put some rubber bands on the outside to stop it sliding back again. And we'll put some rubber bands round the balloon to hold it on there. So that'll be our exhaust point. And then what I'll probably do is also cut down here. You could use a knife. If you use a knife, then you might need to put some tape over the edges to make sure there's no sharp edges that's going to burst your balloon. But if I heat this up and melt it down like that, then we should have rounded edges, so it shouldn't burst the balloon. So that's the plan. The knife is wooden handled, but it's got the metal blade goes all the way up through the middle of the wooden handle. So if you just hold that over the flame, eventually that's going to get hot and burn your hand. So I'm going to use this oven glove to protect my hand. I've drawn on there where I want to cut, down there, across there, up there, and also put a hole there. So let's see what we can do. I've got the door open for ventilation. Those flames coming off are where I've used it before, so it's still got some plastic on it. It's burning off. One thing I've done in the past by mistake is held this over the top of the flame, and because this is very soft and it will melt, so I'm going to have to hold it over here somewhere. That's what we want. Now I need to cut a hole in the end. Right, that's what we want. This will still be hot, so I'll put it in some cold water. I've got some nice wide sticky tape, packaging tape. It's best to have a look at your bamboo skewers and check they're reasonably straight, because if they're curved then they won't run very well. You probably do. Now these particular bottle tops are very soft, so you can probably push the skewer through it. Otherwise you might need a nail or something to make the hole for you. And some of them are a bit harder than the others. Cool, that one's much harder. Yeah, I'm going to have to use a nail for that. There we go. So these have got a nice marking around them that these particular bottle tops are just the same size, so you should be able to align them fairly well. You will find they move around a little bit, which can be an advantage because it will help you straighten the wheel up when you've got it in place. Oh, that one's pretty straight. But if they are out of alignment, you can just move them around a little bit, push them a little bit, because the sticky tape will allow you to do that. If you glue them in place, you're stuck, literally. I'll do the others and then we'll come back. That's our 4 wheels are ready. Now we want the axle tubes. You want to cut the drinking straws so they're just a bit longer than the width of the body, so that the wheels don't rub against the body. So, something like that. Don't pull it too tight or you'll crush the tubes. Right, going back to what I was saying earlier about straightening the wheels up, that one is quite a long way out, so you need to nice and straight. Make sure there's a little bit of a gap there so they can slide side to side. So that's the wheels in place, spinning nice and easily. Now we want to mount this piece up on here. So I'm going to use this double-sided tape. You could hot glue it. You could even put some nuts and bolts through it if you really wanted to. Right, now may want to cut that down. It doesn't need to be as long as that, although it probably doesn't matter. Well, that's a good start. That balloon's got a hole in it. I've just blown it and I can feel the air blowing out the side. Oh, look. Right. I'll have to go and get another balloon. Right. Got some different rubber bands. Okay. That one seems to work. It might stay there on its own, but I'm going to put a rubber band or two over it just to help it stay in place. And then to stop it blowing through, which it probably won't, we'll put a rubber band over the end of that. So will it work? Okay, looks like it's going to work that way. We'll try it in the kitchen. Well, it works. Might want either a smaller or a bigger exhaust pipe. That's the sort of thing you need to experiment with to see which gives you the best result. Right, trying a different size tube. That was a bigger tube. The air came out faster. Did about the same distance, to be honest. Right, with that size tube, the air's coming out faster, the balloon or the car is accelerating faster, but it's running out of air after only about a metre or so. Well, I simply blew it up a little bit further that time. I fully expected the balloon to burst. This is the third balloon of this session, so they don't last very long. But we got the full distance, so happy with that. We'll chase it this time. You'll see how quickly the air comes out of the balloon, and it's relying on the momentum to keep it rolling the distance. Ready? So the air's all out and it's just going on the momentum it built up. But we've done the full 8 meters from my conservatory through my kitchen. See if we can go back the other way. Excellent. So, job done. Summary. 4 CDs for the wheels, 8 plastic bottle tops, 2 bamboo skewers or barbecue skewers, 2 drinking straws for the axle tubes. This is a plastic fruit tray that I've cut the front off at an angle to leave us room for the balloon. The balloon is held in place with a bit of plastic tubing. That's the cap off of a felt tip pen. Make sure you wash it out or you'll get coloured lips. There's a rubber band on the neck of the balloon holding it onto the plastic tube, and there's also a rubber band on this side to stop it sliding through. That's double-sided tape onto the body. The body could be a piece of cardboard, but I've actually used a piece of Correx, I think you call it. It's like cardboard, but it's plastic. That was actually a sign that had been thrown away. Telephone somebody or other. And that's it. It works fine. You will want to experiment with the size of your nozzle or exhaust to get the best results. The bigger it is, the more air comes out, the faster the air comes out, so the more thrust you get initially, but it comes out quicker, so you don't get much distance under power. So a smaller nozzle, less power, but you'll go further. Bigger nozzle, all the power comes out in one go, so you only get about 1 meter of power, and then the rest of it's freewheeling. And you might want to experiment with different sizes of balloon as well, unless you're limited to one particular balloon for your project.
Hey, thanks for watching. There's plenty of videos on my main channel with more added daily, so don't forget to subscribe and enable the notifications to keep you up to date with my new releases. You can help keep my channel running by donating $1 on Patreon to buy me coffee. You can always find more information in the video description. Thanks again for watching.